Well, I just got back from the city and I ended up getting all of the seals that I needed, so that worked out well. And then I stopped at Sears on the way back to replace my 3/8" drive quick release ratchet that had been acting up. The internals on it were bad. Maybe half the time they wouldn't lock properly. So I got this one off the shelf, which is identical to the one that I had, so it was even exchange, lifetime warranty, which I was glad to see that they honored. One thing I didn't like though, unfortunately, is mine was stamped clearly made in USA right on the handle. This one, they didn't bother putting where it's made. I wonder why. Let's see. On the back here, there you go, made in China. So hopefully it'll be okay. The one good thing is I did notice it does have the same lifetime warranty. So at least if this one breaks, I can go back and get another one again. So I still like my Craftsman tools for the most part. Okay, I just removed the one mounting bolt on this side, and now I'm going to remove the other one in there, and then I'm hoping if I loosen that union right there that I might be able to actually get this valve to just twist enough so that I can get the spool valve back in. Oh, get a load of that. I can't get that bolt out because the little toolbox is on top there. So let's see if the toolbox is just bolted on or if somebody welded it. I just realized that this line, this rigid line, which I figured would not want to move, actually goes down to a flex line, and then also this rigid line that comes over here, it's mounted to this bracket right here, which I can loosen, and then it goes to the flex line to the backhoe. So I think if I undo this bracket right here, I think I can get this whole valve to drop down far enough so I can clear the end of that bolt and then push the whole valve over a little bit to get the spool in. Oh, it dropped down a little bit, but it's still not quite there. Let's see if I can't get my pry bar in here on this side. There we go. Now that is clear of that bolt. So I should be able to pull on it this direction, like this. There we go. Get the idea? All right. See, now this side of the opening is far enough over now. I should be able to sneak this spool valve in from this side. So what I'm going to want to do is, let's see, I guess I'm going to want to assemble that spool valve on the bench, get it ready to go, and I've got to get the new seal in on this side first. Alright, so there's my new seals. I got 4 of that type that go in the spools, because I figure I might as well put the 2 in the other spool while I'm doing this. And then I got the quad seal, that little quad seal that goes on the relief valve. Now I remember that the side with the groove in it faces in, so I've got to pop this into that groove on this side. Hopefully I can do it. Okay, that one's in. Let's look at the other side. Okay, got the other seal in. Let's go put together that spool. Okay, since I'm going to be going in the other way, first thing I've got to do is remove this cotter pin and this pin so that I can separate the actual spool from the control lever. I had trouble getting this pin out. Underneath all this grease, there is a blob of metal on the end here. It almost looks like somebody drew an arc to it with a welder, or I'm not sure what they did there, but I had to kind of bend that down to get it to clear. And the hole's still there for the cotter pin, which I took out, so I see no reason why they would have done that. Maybe it was an accident. Now with this disconnected, I can pull this out, and now I can deal with just the spool instead of the hole. This is going to be tricky. I've got to somehow compress this spring, and while it's compressed, then install that clip on the end. And then I've got to get the balls inside the holes. Yeah, this is going to be a trick. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to compress it in the vise, but obviously what's going to happen is, as I'm compressing the bottom edge and that kind of curls, it's going to want to pop right out of the vise. So I'm going to get a C-clamp to put on top here and I'm going to try and compress on the top with the C-clamp at the same time as I'm compressing with the vise. And hopefully it'll be stable enough for me to slide it in and get the clip in. Yeah, that wasn't going to work. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I can compress this with my fingers and then drive, just stick a pin or drill bit in the holes there to keep the spring compressed, and then put the clip on. Times like this I could really use a third hand. I think what I'll do is I'll stick the this in the vise sticking up, and then I'll just put the as I'm compressing it and holding it with both hands, I'll just slide it down over it. Okay, so now I'll basically compress this with my both hands and then slide it right down over that pin, which is really just an Allen wrench. Whew, that took all the strength I could muster to compress it with my fingers. There's an indentation in my thumb. Shows you how hard I was pushing on this thing. But I've got it in there. Now I can put that clip on easily and then carefully slide this pin out and let this snap into position. Hopefully it won't snap in with so much force that it breaks the clip. Well, what I'll do is I'll try and hold it a little bit as I'm releasing it. Alright, now I know that I've got it in there good because it spins in the groove, so I know it's seated. So now I'm going to try and compress this again with my fingers, slide it up off of the Allen wrench, and slowly release it. Alright, part 1 of Mission Impossible complete. Part 2 is going to involve, I've got to get the 4 little ball bearings into their holes. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dab of grease in there to help keep the ball bearings in place, because I think there was some grease in here when I took it apart. I think it was just, you know, a little bit of water had gotten into there too, but I think grease was what was responsible for keeping those ball bearings captive for the most part, other than the fact that once you insert that other piece, they've got no place to go. And the way this works is there's a cup, so that when you slide this down, the cup will allow those little balls to move into the holes further, and that will allow you to insert that pin that's on the inside of the cup here, right down in there. And as luck would have it, that pin on the end there, it looks like it's got a bevel to it, so I think it might just push and snap in, which would be nice, but we'll put grease on that too. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but all 4 of the balls are in. So now I'm going to get grease all over that pin and see if I can't pop this down in. Alright, I was holding it with my hand and put it upright like this and gave it a tap with the dead blow mallet. It popped right in, but as it popped in, my finger right there, you can see the flesh is all bunched up, got caught between there and the cup, and it was jammed in there. And oh man, that hurts. Oh boy. Alright, but I think I've got it in. It seems to be holding. So let's put this spool and give it one more cleaning and put it back in. Yay! It's in. And I cleaned up already because I got to go pick up my son. He's got baseball practice. There's the little cut right there. Not much. Just enough to put a little bit of blood on there to help lubricate the spool as it went in. So now, hopefully if I get back from baseball practice in time, I will put the screws in this thing, and then I'll put the relief valve. And I think I'm going to hold off on the other spool for tonight because I did want to use this machine tomorrow for that brush burning if we're going to do it. It's still a little windy. Don't know if this wind's going to subside enough to allow burning tomorrow, but alright, so signing off for now.